So today we are going to discuss on the managing the basic networking. In a basic networking, we will cover how to configure the IPv4 as well as IPv6 IP addresses to your server or the systems, Linux based. Then we will discuss on the host name, what are the host name and how to do the resolution. Then configure the networking service to start automatically at the boot time. Then we will discuss how you can restrict network access while using the firewall, right? How you can manage the firewall, and using the firewall, how you can configure the firewall properly. So these things we will not cover here in this module. We will cover here this part in a managed security. We will cover where we will cover how to configure the firewall settings using the firewall command cmd or the firewall d. Okay, here only one thing we will cover, the restrict network access using firewall cmd. Okay, so that is the reason we will cover this firewall in this module, manage security. Got it? So let's start first configuring the IPv4 and IPv6. So before covering the IPv4 and IPv6, we need to think and discuss about the IP address. So because you have already completed all of you have already completed about the networking, and we have good knowledge about the IPv4 and IPv6, but here for the short review I want to share with you. Okay, so short review on the IPv4 address. So what is the IPv4 address? Whenever you are running command in a Linux ifconfig, so before running the command I need to be start a RHEL 9 machine, and I am going to put this machine over the bridge adapter. You can put it the host only adapter, so no issue. First things, we need to be verify the IP address of any Linux system. So here Linux system I am using the RHEL 9, and you can do the same thing in a Kali Linux, Ubuntu or other Linux based operating system. Simply here in my system, on this system I am running the ipconfig command. So ipconfig command will display some IP addresses. Okay, these are the IP address. So these IP address is a total 32-bit size of this, and it is divided into the 4 parts. Every parts are the single parts the single parts known as a octet. Why it is saying the octet? Because the value of the single part is 8-bit or 1 byte. Okay, so that's the reason we are saying this is the octet. So how many octet are there? 4 octet. Every octet has the 8-bit of the value, then is equal to the 32-bit IP address. Okay, and it is notation. Notation means how you will write the IP address of the IP address, how you will write IPv4. So the notation is a decimal value, because you can see here whatever written we are writing here, like 192.168.205.1. this is a decimal value. decimal value. Okay, so this is the decimal value. So this is writing in a octet, and this at the time of the configuring the IP address in a Linux, now it has started. I am going to discuss more detail on that. So here first I am going to start this one. So in a Linux there is a multiple commands we can use to check the IP address of any system, and also the graphical interface also exists to check the IP address and other information. Okay, so what are the command? Generally we will use this IP command, IP and ADDR. And if I will hit like this, so just hit enter, you will find there is a lots of the options available. Where are the objective address, address label, amount, for lots of the things are there. So you can use any here. Like when you are running here ADR show command. So this command is used to check the IP address of this computer. So right now you can see here there is only two adapters connected. One adapter name is a LO, and LO is loopback adapter, and this is by default adapter exists on every system. And another is this one. So you can see this is the name of the adapter is ENP0S3. If you want to be change this name, so you can change, no issue. You need to be change the connection name and enough. So what you are looking here when you will run this command IPADDR show command, here you will see the first thing is MTU. So what is the MTU here? The minimum transfer unit. What does it means? Does it means we have already discussed about the packet size. In a packet size there is a two part. One part known as a header, another part is payload. Either you can say this is the LOAD payload, other you can say this is the data. Yes, this is the data. So what is the power, how much the data is transmitting in a single packet will be defined here. This is known as a MTU value. After that there is a state. In a state there is a possibility sometime you have the connected the wire what you are not able to communicate with any device. So in this case the state you need to be checked. If the state is up, so it means your system or your adapter is up and working. If this is the down, in this case this is the hardware is up but software is down. So in this case it will not work, means driver is down and it will not work. So you need to be check this. When you go on the next, then you will get here the information. This is the information of the frame, and inside the frame the identification of the frame is a MAC address. So this is a MAC address. Either we can say this is the link address, hardware address or something. And similar as a broadcasting happened in a IP address, similar broadcasting happened of the MAC address. So this is the broadcast MAC address of the system, FFFM, all the F. When you move and here, then you will get the interface network. So interface network, here you can see the IP address of the computer, but here is /24. So what does it means is /24. The /24 means because in a IP address there is a two parts. One part known as a network ID, another part known as a host ID. So based on the host network ID and the host ID are either you can say, if we classify the IP address, then we will classify in a most well-known classes are the class A, class B, class C. Okay, these are the well-known. And what is the identification of the class A and B and C? The identification is the class A start from 1 to 126. This is the range. And of the class V, the range is 128 to 191, and here the range is 192 to 223. This is the range of it IP address on any computer. Okay, so right now you can see easily and find out this. So here you can see the IP address is started from the 192. It is considered in a class C, and in a class C or the class A or the class B or the class C, in a class V, first octet is a network, another 3 octet is host ID. So on the 3 host ID, this is the network ID. So network ID, how many bits are there? The number is 8. And in a class there is a 2 network bits and 2 octet is a host. In a class C, the 3 are the network and last one is a host. So here is the total number of the bits or total number of the bits used for the network ID. These known as a network ID, and if we calculate or add all these, then it will be the 24 bits. How? 8, 8 and 8. The total number is a 24 bit. Host ID is here. In a class B, the ID will be the /16. In a class A, it will be the 18. And also there is a classless IP address, but we are not going to be discuss over the class these bits IP address. Okay. But when I run on the IP address command on the Windows, I have seen the IP address is started from the 192.168.1. blah blah. When I run on my Linux machine, also I found the 192.168.1.1. So actually the IP address divided into the 2 parts. One is a public IP address, another is a private IP address. In a public IP address, the IP address available into the public. For the example, on my system, on this system, the same system, on the same system, if I am going to open the Firefox, inside the Firefox, when I will search here, what is my IP address, then you will click over here, then you will find this is my IP address. And also when I am running here command IPADDR, this is also my IP address. So now the question is, what is the correct IP address? So this IP address is a private IP address. Me, you or other organization can use this. And this IP address is a public IP address. So this is the public IP address only available to communicate with the public domains like google.com, facebook.com or other websites. If any website will track me, that website will get this IP address, not 192.192. Why? Because this is the private IP address. If the IP address is a private, so this IP address is not available on the internet. So now the question is this, what are the IP address, private IP address, or how will you find these IP address? So here is some IP address like 10, 172, and 192.168.16. So these are the IP addresses which actually publicly known as a publicly IP address. When you are looking here from 170, this is the public IP address. The complete domain name means any IP address is starting from 10 dot means this is the private IP address. Any IP address is starting from the 172.16 to 32.0.0. So you will consider this IP address is a private IP address and not available publicly. Another is 192.168.12255.0. This is the private IP address. So expecting these private IP address, all the IP address exists in a worldwide known as a public IP address, and only the public IP address is used. Only the public IP address is used for the worldwide communication or the communication over the internet. Okay. So let's guys, I am going to say one thing, like when on this my machine, like Linux machine, this is my window machine. On my window machine, I am also knowing the what is my IP address. Okay. So and move on this website, then you can see this is the same IP address. On my base, on my virtual machine, if I am going to use the same on my mobile device, if my mobile device is connected with the Wi-Fi, here you can see I am connected with this Wi-Fi SSID Kumar. If any device is connected with this router, will have the same IP address. So how these things will work? How these things will work? This will work based on NAT or the PAT. So NAT and PAT are used. We have discussed detailed information in a previous course, so I am not going to be describe anything related to this. Okay, PAT and NAT process.